Hey guys, it's Shawnee and I'm back with an episode of Shawnee's Lab, and of course I'm live again from my living room. Still wearing my robe. You know I'm ghetto as hell. But anyways, I wanted to come out here and talk about the fact that Billboard has now changed the rules for streaming again. And this is why I completely hate streaming. Like, I remember back in the day, well, back in my day, well, I'm not that old, but back in my day, we had stuff like LimeWire and stuff. Like, we did purchase stuff. Like, I remember you could either buy a CD or go on iTunes and purchase the single. Like, you didn't have to purchase an entire album. You could like skim through it, look at the tracks, see what tracks you wanted, and just purchase the tracks that way. So I remember I had like almost every iPod that ever came out, and my mom would always buy me the iTunes gift card. So I would always just buy songs. So like a lot of those songs are still in my library today. Like I actually did used to like purchase songs. But with this streaming thing, now that you have like, Spotify and, Tidal and Apple Music has always been a thing, so I don't really consider it streaming, even though it now is a part of streaming. But we have all these ways you can stream artist music, and because of YouTube and pirating, like I said, back in my day, you had things like LimeWire and FrostWire, so people were illegally downloading songs anyway. Like once they got rid of that and you weren't able to legally download songs, people just started uploading stuff to YouTube. And I'm not sure how people are allowed to do that, but for some reason YouTube doesn't really strike it down. They might put a copyright under the song, so you wouldn't be able to make any money off it. But at the end of the day, to me, it's still stealing because you didn't actually, especially if you didn't purchase the song. But so now they're basically, because of like group mentality and because of like huge fan bases like Taylor Swift's, Nicki Minaj's, Travis Scott's, whomever, like people with really large fan bases, they're accusing them of like mass streaming, songs so that they can get number one fast. And I feel like I don't have a problem with that. It's not the artist's fault that they have huge fan bases that want to see them win, that want to see them get the number one spot, that wants to see them reach to the top. It's not fair to basically, it's basically discounting the fans. Like, what do you mean they aren't allowed to mass stream singles? Like, shouldn't that be how streaming works? Isn't that what streaming is about? Like, I don't know, I'm confused. But all I know is in the news, basically, they're saying that Billboard is changing it. So, they're not going to allow mass streaming to count as, I guess, physical numbers anymore or something like that. It's being looked at as more of a, I want to say, they look at it now more as a cheat more than anything. Like, it's not really being seen as a new means, I guess. But like I said, I feel like it's not fair to people with the huge. So basically, it's like if you have a huge fan base and you put out a single and they have like a streaming party, to promote the single to get it to number one, they're not gonna count. I guess they're gonna start like meshing the streams together, because I'm not sure if streams necessarily count as sales, which I'm not. I think they do, or do they don't? But I don't know. I just feel like streaming has fucked up music in general. Like this, it manipulates the charts. People who don't deserve diamond singles have diamond singles, and it's making it seem like artists are more popular, or that their songs are more popular than they actually are. So that's where I do get where the Billboard is coming from. It's like, just because you have a huge fan base doesn't mean that your song deserves to be number one. Doesn't mean your song is actually that popular. Doesn't mean that people actually fucked with your song. It just means that your fans, they keep mass streaming it and having streaming parties and streaming parties. But like I said, I don't have an issue with that. But I wish we could just go back to the days where, like, remember the FYEs and all of the music stores? Like, I still collect vinyls and stuff like that. Like, I'm a classic old dude. But I wish we can go back to the days where, you went and you actually bought the CD, you listened to it. If you didn't like it, you read the review on it so that, you could tell people how you felt about it. But nowadays with these streaming sites, you can just, I feel like we have too much free access to the music, and if I was an artist, I wouldn't put my shit on streaming services. Like, if you ever noticed, there's certain artists you will never find on like Apple Music, Spotify, and all that, because it is a form of stealing. Like, even Drake, before he put all his music on streaming services, he actually had made a deal with Apple so he can get paid on the back end, and so did Taylor Swift, and so did a lot of people. Because I remember at one point in time, their music couldn't be found on streaming services. If you didn't have the CD, you weren't able to listen to the music. So I think that for a lot of up and coming artists, especially like myself, like, try to stay away from people streaming it. Like, you have YouTube as a platform. At least if you get a certain amount of views and streams, you can actually get paid off your own views and streams versus because I don't know how much artists actually get paid off of people streaming them off Spotify. Like Summer Walker is probably, I think, Summer Walker is the most streamed artist on Spotify. She has the most followers, the most following, and we love the music, we love Good Sis, but is she really being paid fairly for her streams? Like that's what I mean by at least back in the day. But I guess back in the I don't know, back in the day, if you bought a CD, you bought the CD. That's one time, one price. You get to spend the CD the rest of your life. But now with streaming, it's like if you keep streaming it, does that equate dollars or does that just equate your single rising up to the chart? Like I wouldn't give a fuck about my single being on the chart, if I know I could make a bunch of money by just simply selling my songs. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like streaming, I hope I'm making sense, but I just feel like streaming in general, it fucked music up. So now, it's like really confusing. Like I don't know. Like I don't like the streaming shit. The streaming shit, I feel like I said, it's cheating. Just like remember when Nicki Minaj made all that noise because Travis Scott was using bundles and ticket sales and all of that to basically let his album rise on the charts, and the Billboard was like, okay, you're right, that is a form of cheating. So they changed the rules, but I feel like how many times are Billboard gonna change the rules? Like how about we just go back to the way music was originally distributed, bought, listened to, and consumed? Like all of this streaming and I Have a Diamond single and da 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 da. It's quite annoying because like I said, a lot of these singles that are going diamond or become number one aren't even the most popular songs. It's just people who have huge fan bases who mass stream the songs. And like I said, there actually really isn't an issue with that. But I just think that streaming shouldn't be counted towards Billboard, period. It should have been completely based off sales like it originally was. So, or radio play. Like I remember back in the day when the radio was really popular. Like I don't know who the fuck still listens to the radio now, but back in the day the radio was really really popular. So people would people would call in and be like, hey, like I remember me and my cousin back in the day, we'd be like, Power 99, FM. Like we actually did get on the radio at one point in time. So I'm like, you would call in, you would request a song, like I said, people would buy CDs and, word of mouth goes around and everybody. Like, I'll use the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill for an example, 1998. Internet is not that popular. There is no way to stream it. You have to go out and buy the CD, right? Right. That CD sold millions of copies. I don't know, I just think that we should go back to, sales actually being sales, songs actually being songs, and they're getting popular off of people actually liking the music, people requesting to hear it on the radio, and it being used for like commercials and things of that nature. I just feel like streaming, whoever came up with this bullshit, they fucked music up. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you agree with streaming? Do you feel like it's fucking up music as well? Or, do you feel like streaming worked out for the better? Let me know.